when I was driving to the game today. Obviously, it's annoying because there were way too many Caitlyn fans but like it just kudos because it's amazing to see so many people in women's basketball jerseys. It's amazing to see the excitement and the joy that comes out of that. So although I feel like our Dallas fans could have done better, I had mixed feelings obviously seeing all the Caitlyn jerseys in our home, but it's an amazing time for women's basketball and it's just great how far we've come. It's just fun. It's good.
Publicly, Satou Sabally Sky fans responded to this interaction between the two WNBA stars on X, formerly Twitter, where one of Reese's fans urged her to influence the recruitment of Satou Sabally amid a free agency move. Other fans joined in to react to Reese potentially recruiting the 26-year-old to the Sky, with over 98% of you watching the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us, so did you click the subscribe button to put the cherry on top? During a news conference last Thursday, Sabally informed reporters that she had played her final game in Dallas.
And then also, you're one of the top free agents this year. So, I mean, do you have any ideas of what you might prioritize, or do you plan to stay in Dallas next season?
Yeah, I mean, I've already communicated with Dallas how grateful I am because they've made this a home for me for the past years, and I'm working with them together and finding a next home for me because I've already played my last game in Dallas. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for free agency. I'm able to talk to a lot of players outside the league because I have not played on a different team yet. And I'm excited to get to know them more on a personable level, but also knowing how they approach the game. And I just love having basketball conversations and high-level IQ conversations about the game to know.
If the Wings designate her as a core player and locate a player for a sign-in trade, or if she enters free agency and signs with another team, Sab's tenure in Dallas is over. The former Dallas Wing star is searching for a new home before the upcoming season, but the Chicago Sun-Times reports that Chicago is not likely to be that location. Annie Costabile fans started speculating about where Sabally might end up because of a recent report from Costabile. While some teams are interested in her, Chicago isn't one of them. The only thing left to think about is where she will end up, but according to several league sources, the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty have a chance of landing Sabally. If the Liberty want to bring the Sabally sisters together, they'll need to free up some cap space, which suggests a possible sign-in trade.
I will fit best in the future.
Would you want to play with your sister?
A reunion in the WNBA may result from Satou Sabally and Sabrina Ionescu's forthcoming season in the league's top division. The Chicago Sky may still be looking to use the number 3 pick in the WNBA draft as leverage for a trade that would land talented co-star Angel Reese, but Satou, who took a pay cut to sign a 1-year deal with the Wings worth $195,000. He won't be leaving Dallas and will become a free agent in the winter. Sabally, after revealing her plans to leave the Wings after 4 years with the team, Satou Sabally has become a wanted woman on the free agency portal. Sabally will enter free agency on January 21st, so the Wings will probably use their core designation on Satou. This will allow the Dallas team to sign her and then trade her to a desirable destination once free agency starts. Satou Sabally disclosed that she has already played her final game for the Dallas Wings and plans to sign with a new team this offseason. One of the most talked about teams for her is the Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark. Since Caitlin Clark finished her rookie season, the team hopes to help her advance as a WNBA player and make her a contender. Since she left the Dallas Wings, there have been rumors about Sabally because her remarks about Clark have gone viral.
I think the WNBA narrative right now is Caitlin Clark, and I think that's a good narrative, but it's also not the only narrative. Caitlin is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things. You're the number 1 pick. People are going to go after you, whether it's for the right or wrong reasons, because they see greatness in you. And what the WNBA is measuring one type of greatness against the other greatness. There's just so much more to the WNBA than Caitlin, but Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good. She's selling out gyms. Why would you hate against that? We had a sold-out home opener. I think it was a practice game, like it wasn't even serious. We benefited from that because now we have all our fans there and they're excited, and you have new people coming into a market. She is her own economy, and that is amazing. And she's being paid her worth. And now we need to get other women on board to get paid their worth, because she's the reflection of what should happen in women's sports.
Sab was speaking to Philadelphia 76ers star Paul George on his podcast, where the topic was on the WNBA at large and how Clark has impacted the popularity. SA would speak about how Clark is the face of the league. And while that is good, she would express that there's just so much more to the rest of the association. The wing star would speak highly of Clark after saying that her influence has led to beneficial results for the WNBA, as more people have been watching women's basketball, and ever since. Satou Sabally liked some social media comments recruiting her to the Indiana Fever after the 2024 season. WNBA fans have been wondering if the two-time All-Star truly wants to leave Dallas, and if she could end up in Indiana. She hit both free throws, and then the first question has been answered. Sabally has reportedly communicated her desire to leave Dallas to the Wings, making her the second star potentially on the move this offseason after Jewel Lloyd requested a trade in early December. Speculation about her departure intensifies when Satou responded to Reese's comment with a single word. A clip from her appearance on the podcast P with Paul George last year reappeared. In the video, she talks about the Caitlin Clark effect and offers her opinions on how the rookie responds to criticism, while other WNBA superstars criticize the rookie. According to Satou, she still has hope for Clark and is aware that there are other women in her community who want her to succeed rather than everyone wanting someone else to fail, because, in my opinion, if you want someone else to fail because you can't prove your greatness, you're not great. Amid trade speculations, Sabbally's sincere remarks regarding Caitlin Clark reappeared, raising the possibility that he would be joining the craze. Before we continue, I would like to ask you a tiny favor. The majority of the Fever supporters believe that it might be a sign that Sabally is on her way to the Fever. What would it take for the Fever to land safely? Please take a moment to like this video if you enjoy this WNBA content, and return to the video after subscribing to the channel. Indie star Chloe Peterson speculates that the Indiana Fever could have to sell forward Nalissa Smith, who is in the last year of her contract, and the 8th overall pick in the draft in order to obtain Satou Sabally.
On a three. Sabally.
In the second half.
Morgan as Russell finishes on the other end. Here's with an answer. 4 seconds between the clock is down here for a de facto final possession. Sabally jump shot.
Weird season last year.
In addition to setting a career high in minutes per game and a three-point percentage of 45.2%, Sabally, the 2024 Most Improved Player, averaged 17.9 points, 6.4 rebounds, and a career-high 5.0 assists per game this season.
First day of practice, of course no one knows what's going on. The first day of practice, of course everybody on time.
The first day of practice, of course I already broke a weight. It's the first day of practice, of course no one knows the schedule. It's the first day of practice.
Sabally and Natasha Cloud will play together in the premier basketball competition. Brittany Griner-Ionescu, Sabrina Catherine Lou Samuelson, and Marina Ma, the Dallas Wings, concluded the season with a 931 record, the second worst in the league, despite Sabally playing in just 15 games. According to Peterson's research, the Fever could only get Sabally if they were prepared to engage in trade. The only option for Satou Sabally to contract the Fever is for Smith to sign a 3-year, $226,600 deal with them in 2022, and it seems unlikely that they will be willing to release Nessa. Sab will be a free agent, but Smith, it's not as easy as it appears. The Wings will probably court her and consider trade offers from other clubs in the league because they don't want to lose someone like Sam Bell without receiving anything in exchange.
All-Star break. That's one of the reasons Dallas is now picked 8th in the preseason polls for the WNBA, because of what she did last year, the WNBA's Most Improved Player.
Satou came out of her shell last year, and she, I think, took the league by storm.
Gives her 1,001 NBA career, and we got an injury on the floor.
I could hear her scream. They're seated, and she suffered that knee injury, grabbing her ankle. You just hope that it stuns you at first and be able to walk it off. Limping not much, but...
Trading for Sab carries some risk because, thus far in her career, she has only played 97 games over 5 WNBA seasons due to her inability to stay healthy. However, when she is healthy, she is among the league's best players, so teams will probably try to acquire her in a trade to increase their chances of competing in the Fever, should be one of those teams. Because of her ability to spread the floor on a team with Caitlin Clark, Sabally would be a fantastic complement to Aaliyah Boston and the ideal replacement for Nia Smith at the 4. Boston's Aaliyah Mitchell-Kelsey and Satou, although there are still a few issues. The main one is that the Fever probably wouldn't even have the best offer for Sabally. In order to win the bidding war, Sabally might need to ask for a trade to Indiana. If the Fever inquires about Sabally, their initial offer will probably be Lisa Smith plus some draft assets, which is what makes the most sense for Indiana, but it might not be particularly alluring to Dallas, especially when compared to what other teams could offer. The Chicago. If they so choose, Sky could offer the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft, and New York could offer draft assets along with intriguing rotational players like Leonie Fight. However, if Fight is available, which is dubious given her role for the Liberty during the playoffs, New York has the best offer. There is no reason to ship out valuable assets for someone who does not want to play for your team, and the Wings might be inclined to send her to her preferred destination. However, there is another way that Sabally could get the Fever. If Sabally asks to be traded specifically to Indiana, other teams will be reluctant to trade for her. The only way the Fever could outbid those offers would probably be by parting ways with Lexi Hull, which seems extremely unlikely given the state of Indiana's defense. Joining the Fever could definitely be alluring for Sabally to play with a generational if the chance arises. Will Sealy find it more interesting to play for a young, up-and-coming team than to join the reigning champions and her sister in New York? If Sealy's objective is to win as much as possible, perhaps even without having to commit long-term for the time being, the answer is probably no. Talent always has its advantages, and the Fever may be a young team, but they're preparing to win at a much higher level than they did last season.
Satou Sabally. She is a player we've been talking about, those people who are fans of the Indiana Fever, and we have said we would love Satou to come on over to Indiana because we weren't thinking that she was going to hang out in Dallas. Well, we don't have to wonder anymore. With free agency blossoming, opening up in just 2 days on January 11th, Satou said, why wait? I'm over here in Unrivaled, and I'm over here talking a little WNBA because you asked. And so I just got to say this. Satou Sabally, I like your style.
Sabette, who helped Germany qualify for the Olympics for the first time in the nation's history, stated that she would love to play with her sister Ninera, who is with the New York Liberty, in the future. She is excited about free agency and will have the opportunity to speak with many players throughout the league. Her passion for basketball and intelligent discussions about the game help her determine where she will fit best in the future. Sabally spoke approximately an hour after Dallas announced Chris Cohn as their head coach. The Wings had the opportunity to offer Sabally a franchise tag and trade her to a different team. Obviously, at first, they were still attempting to retain her, but I believe that the best approach is to work with a player, listen to their desires, and figure out how they can find the best solution for each other.
Thank you for joining us today. Special shout out to our front office. Obviously, really appreciate all the work that went into planning the press conference and now the recent pivot to the virtual press conference to understandably.
When asked about the star during the initial press conference, Wings general manager CTT Miller praised Sab's talent and said he had to commend her career up to this point. When she is healthy, she is an elite player and a difference maker. Don't forget to share and subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you in the next video.